I want to talk about how I got my start with SEO, which is search engine optimization. I think it's a unique story. One of my first gigs out of college was doing social media and video work for Safe Auto Insurance, a billion-dollar car insurance company. I was working with the marketing department and I was doing these videos and I thought it was great and making these social media posts, but I wasn't able to really justify any ROI on it. And everybody within the marketing department, all anybody talked about was this term SEO, which I had never even heard of it before. But they were ranking at the top of Google for the term cheap car insurance. And it was generating them millions of dollars per month. And so that was the focus of everybody within their marketing department. Everybody thought the agency that they were using, and it was a small shop, everybody thought that they had this secret sauce, and I was eager to find out how they went about achieving these great results. They were writing these blogs that were really not, it had some relation to cars, but it was like the 8 busiest freeways in Arizona. And it didn't click with me how they were actually how they were getting results. And then they sent over what's called a backlink profile. And if you know SEO, backlinks are the foundation of SEO. And so I opened up this backlink profile. There were tens of thousands of backlinks and I was clicking on them and they were all very spammy websites. I'm talking these foreign sites that had nothing to do with car insurance. And at the time I raised a concern to the marketing manager there. I said, hey, I think it's a little bit of an orange flag that there are all of these spammy links pointing back to your site. And they said, thanks for bringing it to our attention. You know, they are getting amazing results, so we are gonna stick through with the strategy, and I completely understood it. I'll never forget, it was a Friday evening. I had some buddies coming over to my apartment at the time. I was 22, 23 years old. We were gonna have some fun on a Friday night. And every Friday late afternoon, I would get emailed a report from Google Search Console. It would show me where the rankings were for this company. I opened up the email. Every single keyword that they were trying to rank for dropped over 100 spots. My heart sank because I just knew that this was going to negatively impact them by millions of dollars monthly, and it was a huge deal. So I brought it to the attention of the higher ups within the marketing department, and they pretty much said, Jason, you were the one that pointed this out beforehand. You had the intuition on that. It's gonna be up to you to clean this up. What ended up happening was they were hit with a Google penalty. It was called the Penguin algorithm update, and it was people that were unnaturally building backlinks to their website. And nowadays, there's tons of information on how to recover, and algorithms are completely different, 15 years later. But back then it was the Wild West. There was no information on this. I had to try to figure it out myself. And as a 23-year-old, I started being included on a weekly meeting with the CEO of the entire company, with the vice president of marketing, on how they are gonna recover from this Google update. They wanted to fly out to Palo Alto and visit Google and try to set up a meeting with them. And I'm like, hey guys, it doesn't work that way. Long story short, over the course of a year, I worked with a developer on Safe Auto's team, and we had to disavow over 1 million backlinks. So we had to show Google that we are taking an effort to clean up these artificial links. And after close to a year, the penalty was lifted and all of their keywords went back to their regular position. It taught me a lot of things. I think the foundation of our SEO, I learned from hands-on experience. In SEO, there are a lot of people that try to create, who think they can take a shortcut to achieving success. And I always say you can never fool Google. You might be able to fool them for 6 months or a year, but eventually it's gonna catch up with you. And so we have always had the philosophy that you need strong content that serves as solid sales collateral, and we don't take shortcuts. And I think our clients have benefited from that. In the SEO world, there are a lot of snake oil salesmen that try to pitch you on a quick win. And from going through this experience with Safe Auto, it made me realize early on there are no shortcuts, and that you need to be producing quality work in order to achieve success. And that is really the philosophy that is carried over to our clients. We focus on high quality content. Every page on their website should be strong sales collateral. So you're not just trying to appease Google, you're trying to create content that could help your sales team and serve as strong marketing collateral.